And right now, first out of the gate here on the night team, if you were wondering, folks, yes, the snow is back at the moment, falling once again and promising to give areas not far from Louisville some big snow totals. Winter storm warning is out for many others, and alerts also for parts of Kentuckiana. JCPS and many other schools are going to remote learning tomorrow. You can check out the updated list as they come in to us on the bottom of your screen. Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us. I'm Doug Proffitt. We've got team coverage for you from the night team as this winter weather moves in over already flooded areas. Alex Dieterer is in Nelson County, where some people have been cut off by floodwaters, and they're in the target zone of some really big snow. Ian Hardwitt is going to be reporting live in downtown Louisville, covering the rising Ohio River. But first, Chief Meteorologist Ben Pine. And Ben, I know you've just updated your snow totals out of this. How's it looking?
Yeah, we're looking at about 1 to 3 inches north of Louisville, Doug, and then about 3 to 6 inches from Louisville off to the south. And now this morning was kind of the appetizer, that light snow that we had. This is the main course arriving now, and then we've got dessert tomorrow night. So we still have some different periods of snow that we got to get through. Starting to see the impacts here. The roads becoming snow covered around Elizabethtown. There's I-65 in the upper left-hand corner of your screen, Lebanon Junction, bottom left, and then I-65 at the Western Kentucky Parkway in your bottom right. In Metro Louisville, just some light snow, and the roads aren't quite covered just yet. And again, that winter weather advisory area from Clark County, Indiana north, you're looking at 1 to 3 inches, but Louisville south, that 3 to 6 inches is going to be possible. That's where we see some of the heaviest snow right now. And this deeper blue color right here, those are the heavier snowfall rates coming down around Hardinsburg to Elizabethtown and some spots off to the south as well. So we're starting to get some decent accumulations happening here. Likely won't take long to get 1 to 2 inches over the next hour or two. During the late overnight hours, when we get down to the teens, those snow ratios will go up, and we'll start to see some more and more accumulating snow during the overnight hours. By around sunrise, 8 a.m., we're starting to see that snow ease off to the east. We'll get a break in that snow for much of the afternoon. But notice that last wave of winter weather, some more snow and some light accumulations will be possible late tomorrow night. And it is bitterly cold out there. The wind chills are in the single digits. So really bundle up if you have to be out there. May want to delay that travel with those roads becoming snow covered tonight and tomorrow morning. We'll look ahead when we'll finally start to thaw things out coming up.
All right, Ben, thank you. Late word tonight from MSD. One of their floodwater pumping stations failed tonight. The Admiral Way pumping station gave up. That means they are now discharging everything into Penn Run Creek in southern Louisville. MSD says it's working quickly to restore this pumping station in the next 12 hours. The station is set to be fully replaced by 2030. First tonight in our team coverage, we're still dealing with floodwaters impacting some residents and businesses. WHAS11 night teams Ian Hardwitt and photojournalist Levi Hammer are near the 3rd Street ramp, the exit ramp into downtown Louisville on this snowy evening. Now, Ian, the Ohio River's been on the rise under I-64. How's it looking right now?
Doug, right now it's starting to creep up to the Galt House, and we can actually see with these low temperatures, this is turning into a slushy you definitely don't want to drink down here. Now, if we look further up to the Bell of Louisville, I was here just a week ago, actually able to stand next to it. Now the employees at the Bell are actually having to take boats out to the boat in order to show up for work. And as you can see, as we come back up here towards the Galt House, towards downtown Louisville from the Ohio River, plenty of this muck has washed up here, and that's a concern for some businesses that work along the Ohio River. We're going to hear from one of those later in the show tonight. For now, I'm live in downtown Louisville. Ian Hardwitt, WHAS, on your side.
All right, Ian, thank you very much. Now, we do want to go to Cunningham's Creekside, which has been closed since Sunday.
The last couple of days, I'm like, well, if it gets me, it does, you know. You can't.
This trailer, full of frozen menu items for Cunningham's Creekside, now on the way to higher ground. Rising waters are to blame, nearly reaching the restaurant's main level.
Somewhere between 1.5 feet and 2 feet before it comes in.
But owner Brent George prepared. Inside, employees took out everything below the waist, including the walls.
It's like a jigsaw puzzle.
They also built a flood barrier with tarps and sandbags.
I'm anticipating it to be about here or so.
The National Weather Service forecast shows the Ohio River rising at least 2 more feet by Thursday, impacting Harrods Creek as well.
This is the intersection of Indian Hills Trail and River Road. 4 miles down from Cunningham's Creekside. This is the way you would drive there from downtown Louisville, but right here next to Cox's Park, it's closed.
While the Ducks don't seem to mind, water blocks the road to the American Turners Club.
It's literally like running.
Cassandra Johnson's worried she'll miss aerial circus practice for the next week.
I also feel really terrible for the people whose houses are right next to the gym. Like, those are ground level.
At Brownsboro Hardware and Paint, owner Doug Carroll unloaded this shipment of salt, shovels, and sleds ahead of a 4-inch snow forecast. So far, at 20 inches, this winter's on pace to double Louisville's usual amount of snow.
The busiest winter for us in probably a decade. We've gone through over 200,000 pounds of salt, 500 shovels, 1,400 sleds.
And the resupply is already running out the door.
There you go. You have a good day.
Back at Cunningham's Creekside, George thinks of his 60 staff waiting to come back to work.
I can't tell them exactly when, because until the water comes in, until the water leaves, and then it's a matter of how much damage is done.
Damage he may avoid, but it all depends on how much snow falls and melts.
All right, Ian Hardwick's story there from Harrods Creek tonight. Now, for others not far from Louisville, it's the double hit from this winter storm that seems to keep on going. We've had 1 confirmed death of a man in Nelson County from these storms so far, and floodwaters are still ravaging that county as Boston, Kentucky is now preparing for up to 6 inches of snow, possibly on top of it. WHAS11 Night Team's Alex Dederer and photojournalist Emma Gefter found one Nelson County man who has weathered this storm for 20 years.
The last couple of days, I'm like, well, if it gets me, it does, you know. You can't fool with Mother Nature.
Mother Nature is winning. A house in Boston, Kentucky, in Nelson County, turned into an island surrounded by floodwaters.
Just start grabbing stuff and throwing it on a wagon.
A routine Stanley Watts and his 5 dogs have become accustomed to.
Come on, boy.
After living in this home off Shady Lane for 23 years.
Just about every other year, really. Yeah, we had 36 inches in the house in 2010.
Going down Shady Lane to get to Lebanon Junction is blocked by all of this standing water. You can see signs in the road that are almost covered by the standing floodwater.
Mother Nature's a hot mess.
Nelson County's had everything thrown at it. Floodwaters and now up to 6 inches of snow.
In my almost 30 years in Nelson County, this has probably been one of the worst.
Nelson County Sheriff Ramon Pinaroa pleading.
Just listen to what we tell you, stay off the roads.
In Bardstown, Patrons Home Center is left with empty shelves.
We are sold out of sleds, bummer. We are sold out of snow shovels. We sold the last snow shovels yesterday afternoon, and we sold our last ice melt.
The shop sold a record 9 pallets of ice melt just this year.
10 gallons even.
And has filled 2,200 gallons of propane.
Which is a lot. That's very uncharacteristic.
While Mother Nature refuses to let up, a quiet home off Shady Lane is refusing to give in.
It's hard to keep it from bothering you. You just kind of got to let go of it after a while and think, you know, there's got to be a reason.
Watts is leaning on something greater.
And God's got a reason behind it somewhere, and we'll figure it out somewhere down the road.
Faith that will get him through these troubling waters. In Nelson County with photojournalist Emma Gefter, Alex Dederer, the WHAS11 Night Team on your side.
By the way, if you live in Nelson County and are watching us here tonight during this winter weather, Sheriff Pinaroa is asking you to call 911 for emergencies. Certainly do that. But to also call 502-348-3211 for any non-emergency that you may be having. Right here tonight, we have new video out of Pikeville, Kentucky, the cultural and business center of the eastern Kentucky mountains. In Pike County, the waters were widespread, the floodwaters. 50 people had to be rescued. In the city of Pikeville, floodwaters reached places that haven't flooded before. Our video tonight shows you some of the lingering damage. The view of the eastern Kentucky mountain city, Pikeville, Kentucky, late today from Louisville's Donnie Yeoman Jr. flying his drone. The Levisa Fork of the Big Sandy River runs right through this hub city of the mountains. The floodwaters taking out one of the city's supermarkets, Save-A-Lot. Heavy equipment loading it all into this red dumpster, scooping up flooded groceries tossed right into the parking lot. Nearby on the same stretch, a string of businesses flooded. This large JCPenney store, now temporarily closed, all mud in the parking lot, along with the Pikeville Ace Hardware. The waters of the Levisa Fork are now back down, allowing the cleanup in the mud. We asked Mike Kochasik of the Louisville National Weather Service office about another round of devastating eastern Kentucky flooding. He advises Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear.
Declarations for the state would be 1 or 2 on average per year. Now we're seeing like 3 and 4 on average per year. We've been through a really bad stretch in the last 5-10 years here in Kentucky, but we're resilient people.
A story of resiliency that is repeating history. It is the winter that won't stop. To stay up to date on the next round of winter weather this evening and overnight, download the free WHAS11 app. You'll get updates straight to your cell phone, and you can always scan the QR code, when you see it on your screen, and that will download the app for free. More local news new tonight. A Republican Louisville council member is slamming Yum Brands for their decision to move Kentucky Fried Chicken out of Louisville to Plano, Texas. Anthony Piagentini taking to social media this afternoon. Here's what he said. This city should do everything in its power to become a business-friendly city. However, if KFC doesn't give a crap about us, I don't know why we should reciprocate. Call it Texas Fried Chicken and make it official. Let's find companies that want to be here and support them. From Anthony Piagentini on social media. KFC's move will impact more than 100 local employees, the company said, and it's an effort to foster greater collaboration among its brands already at the KFC and Pizza Hut global headquarters already in Texas. It's another economic blow to our city, though, but also a jolt to the historic pride the state has had ever since Colonel Harlan Sanders created Kentucky Fried Chicken and the 11 herbs and spices in 1930. Yum Brands and the KFC Foundation will keep its corporate offices in Louisville and 560 employees. The mayor today said he's disappointed that the brand synonymous with Kentucky is leaving, but he's going to work with Yum to try and grow its presence in Louisville. Now, new information after 3 people were shot and killed, found dead in an apartment in Shively last night. Shively police tell us tonight their preliminary investigation shows this was not a random act of violence. It happened just after 5 last night inside the Williamsburg apartments on Crumbs Lane. That complex is right across the street from Butler High School. Police found 2 men and a woman, all in their 20s, with gunshot wounds, dead at the scene. Their names have not yet been made public. And the father of a 4-year-old boy who accidentally shot himself has been arrested today. Jacob Mosley is charged with assault, criminal abuse of a child, and wanton endangerment. Police said the incident happened off Mango Court earlier this morning. Police say the little boy was taken to U of L Hospital about 8 a.m. by private means. The little boy was wounded, but he is expected to have a full recovery.